Hello you, Nick from the other 10% here, and this is the third part of my Oxygen Not Included playthrough. My asteroid's called the Monkey Hole, named for the first podcast I worked on, as I've mentioned in previous episodes. I've got a quick bit of housekeeping to do at the beginning of this episode. You probably won't notice this, but it's going to bother me if I don't mention it. I've talked about the mods that I use on this game, not moderators. Mods as in things that people have built for the game that I use. The gas overlay in particular, the flow splitter, and I was going to try and start using the blueprints and stuff. When I went to open up the game just now, those started throwing errors. Basically, I don't know if my game's trying to update or the mods trying to update or something, but I figured I could do an episode without them and not make a big deal out of it, but here I am making a big deal out of it. So if you notice that I'm not using any of the mods, that's why. It's because they're not working. I suspect they'll be back working in a couple of days, or else I'll sort that out. The other thing is that following the previous episode, I was looking at the Steam page for Oxygen Not Included, and for this game, obviously, and it's really pushing an article on Rock Paper Shotgun, which is a site I quite enjoy, by someone called Ollie Toms, called Oxygen Not Included Guide: How to Ace Your First 30 Cycles in Oxygen Not Included. And I thought I'd have a look at it, figuring that as it's only covering the first 30 days and I've been playing this game a lot, even though I'm not that great at the game, there probably wouldn't be that much in there that I didn't already know. And there wasn't anything in there that I didn't already know, but there was some stuff that I had forgotten when setting up this asteroid. Also, Ollie Toms is using an asteroid that's a little bit more resource light than this one. I've gone for quite an easy asteroid, I think, to begin with. So he that was a big breath there. Sorry about that. So he's kind of rushing through some stuff. I don't think I need to quite as much, but it's quite a good guide. So I thought I might just run through some of that through the course of this episode. And see where my asteroid so far is and how it measures up next to his. Now, I thought that I'd start on a picture of John Mom's backside. There he is. Look at him go. Oh, bless him. Cool. Hey, friend. They're always so happy to see each other, these guys. These are good guys. Right, so I'm on cycle 10. Now, on the post on Rock Paper Shotgun, which I will provide a link to in the description for this episode, he said pointing down. You can't see me pointing down, but honestly, it's better if I don't have a camera on me while I'm doing this. I am wearing clothes, but I'm not that pretty. So, I've got a lot going for me. Slightly monotonous voice, not that great at games, not that pretty. I'm basically everything you need from a gaming video person, aren't I? Right, so Cycle 0, he starts with the problem of duplicants, and it's good to see that someone else is as cynical about who they choose to be their starting duplicants. He's, if anything, a little bit more choosy than I am, but it's worth having a read of what he says. And then in Cycle 1, the problem, he's laid out the article as in the problems that you need to solve, so each cycle heading has the problem of. And in the first cycle, he says you have to solve the problem of urine and sleep. It's being quite polite there. I don't think it's entirely clear that the duplicants are just weeing. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of poop going into those toilets too. You get a lot of like, I think you get polluted water. Do you get polluted dirt out of them as well? I think you do. Yeah. Anyway, urine and feces. I don't know. The problem of urine, feces, and sleep. And I've solved those. I can't remember which day I solved them on. Look at these guys. But I've got my 2 outhouses. I've got 1 wash basin. I don't think you really need 2. I've got my pitcher pump over here to get water out. And I've got my 3 cots. So, on track for cycle 1. Cycle 2, the problem of power and research. Got a manual generator. I've only got the 1 battery, but I don't think you need more than 1 battery. And I've got my research station, and I've actually set up 2 oxygen diffusers, but I think I did that because I found that my barracks over here wasn't actually getting that much oxygen to it, just because of the way everything was laid out. Yeah, I think carbon dioxide was getting trapped in there or something. Now what I want to do actually is I just want to switch the oxygen diffusers off. Because everything's got maximum pressure anyway, and I think they're burning through algae. I don't think my dupes really need much in the way of oxygen. Should I have paused this? I'm just kind of trusting them to get on with it, aren't I? I'm sure it's fine. Anyway, so manual generator, battery, research, and I've got them researching. Now, in this article, he's quite clear about what he thinks you should be researching. I'm not sure I've got the same priorities he does. I'm aiming for distillation. I think he's focused on food production. I haven't even started with basic farming, just because they've got quite a lot of muckroot and stuff already. And I can already create mush bars if I need to. And I don't think I need to right now anyway, because I've still got a few calories and I've only got these 3 guys. So, cycle 3, the problem of food. I'm confident that I've solved the problem of food for now. I do want to get into farming, but I want to make sure I'm laying my asteroid base out properly for food, because a problem I always end up hitting really quickly is that my farms get too hot, and that's partly down to there not being an awful lot of space here in the middle of the base that isn't quite warm, because farming requires a fairly narrow band of temperatures, but also because the base tends to get quite warm quite quickly if you don't have just the batteries running and stuff like that. If you don't have a plan for cooling things down, things can go awry pretty quickly. I like the word awry. What I am going to do while I'm looking into this is I'm just going to start tidying things up a little bit over here. Right. Oh, Max, wake up. So sleepy. So, cycle 4, the problem of food, part 2. He's already setting up a farm at this point. I want to do that, but as I said, I want to make sure I'm doing it in the right place, and I don't think it's as pressing in my base right now. Cycle 5, the problem of oxygen and algae. Again, I've got it in hand, I think, for now. It's saying I've got insufficient oxygen generation and unrefrigerated food, but I don't think I need to worry about those things just yet. He's right, though. You do need to be thinking about it pretty early on. Cycle 6, the problem of storage and pollution. Now, he solved this problem a lot quicker than I would have. And I think he's right, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is he's set up an airlock really early to get rid of waste materials. And I was a bit reticent about doing that, but I think it's a good plan. So I think I'm going to do it. Apologies if I'm popping a little bit. I realised after the last episode that there was a little bit of a problem with that, which I've tried to address by moving the mic, but I won't know until I come to edit it. So now I just have to decide where I'm going to start putting waste materials that generate pollution, because you can see here that this is polluted dirt and it's emitting polluted oxygen, which doesn't seem to be a huge problem yet, but it could become one. So I think I might actually set it up. Over here for now, actually. So, oh, okay, I can't actually set it up over there because I don't have anyone who can dig through this stuff. That is a shame. Yeah, I'm going to have that problem down here as well. I wonder if I'm in a position to upgrade anyone yet. No. Need to do something about that pretty soon. Right, so maybe instead then I can build something up here. Oh. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it here. Yeah, because I'm going to sort this out here. Hopefully that will send someone to dig this all up pretty quick. Anyway, I'll keep an eye on that. I'll create my airlock. I think it is quite early to be doing that, but it's not such a bad idea. It involves creating an airlock and then putting a compost heap so that your filth is all in one place. And then by cycle 7, he's looking at the problem of morale and rot. Again, I've set up a barracks. I do need to clear up this barracks actually, so maybe I'll make that a slightly higher priority. And yeah, and then at least when they're sleeping, they'll be regaining a bit of morale. But again, my stress isn't that high. It's all at 0 at the moment, and when I look at the vitals, they're all kind of doing okay for morale. So I'm going to keep the food thing in mind. That's cycle 7, and then he kind of shimmies on. He creates a recreation room and a massage clinic. I'm going to do the massage clinic thing, but it can be pretty high maintenance. setting up a massage clinic, you need someone dedicated to be running the power for it, because I think it's quite power intensive. Although again, they're not that stressed at the moment, so maybe they wouldn't be using it that much. And then by cycle 12, he's already talking about fire poles to speed their movement around. I'm not going to worry too much about that. And then he's not really focused on anything until cycle 15. So, I think, based on the rock, paper, shotgun article, I'm going to call it the... lost his name. I'm going to call it the Ollie Toms model. I'm doing okay. I think my base is doing okay. So for now, what I'm going to do is... I'm going to focus on just sort of tidying this stuff up, creating that airlock, and carrying on with my research. But I think I'm going to speed things up. I wonder when we're due something else in the printing pod. I think it's well worth having a look at the looking at that article if you're interested in the game, even if you've been playing it a little bit, because because you might disagree with a lot of what he says, but I think it's quite a useful little checklist to start things off with. Let's see. Set to all, and actually I think I'll change the priority on these guys as well. Mop things up. Things do get very untidy very quickly. Right, so... eventually, I think I'm going to set my water up a bit differently. So, I'll just make a little temporary reservoir here. There's James' mum getting wet, that's no good. I'm having a bit of trouble breathing. And now he's got hypothermia. Oh, apparently he only had hypothermia for a second. That's okay then. It is so stinky around here. I really need to do something about this. Are they? I don't think they are really. It says that they've got quite long commutes, but this is a really small base at the moment. Still doesn't look that nice over here, does it? Right. So I think what I'll do is... build a little wall there. What's happened there? See, the only thing is, I'm slightly worried that I'm doing my normal thing of getting quite distracted. And deciding that something's vitally important, so just fixating on that. Let's see. Latrine, toilet, wash station. Maybe I'll just set up a door here. Tiny, tiny little toilet for them. Let's see. Who have we got? A vomiter and a binge eater. I'm going to say I don't think I'll bother with those. This is new, an arbor acorn. I'm going to go with that. Can't hurt. What is an arbor acorn? Seed of an arbor tree. And you can harvest them for lumber. Okay, that's quite nice, although it does involve polluted water, which is a little bit weird. I'll store that for now. Right. So... No, this is stupid. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm kind of doubling down on a problem. Right, so... what are you guys doing? Let's slow things right down. Right, so... let's turn that around. And I think what I'll do is I'll create a chamber over here. Yeah, I didn't really think this through. This is part of my ongoing problem. I think is I get an idea into my head, but then I run with it without really thinking. Right. Let's see. I don't want that to go away. Right. I'm just getting these poor guys soaked. Now, the thing is... They don't really like getting wet. It ups their strength by like 20%. Which is why I wasn't really sure. I wasn't really sure about bothering with it this early on, but let's see. Yeah, so that's one of those best laid plans of mice and men things. I really did think that looking at the article would give this episode and these 5 days a little bit of structure, where all it's really done is got me super distracted by doing stuff that I did not want to do. Right, so research. Whoop. Just research distillation, which creates this water sieve, which means I can do the bathrooms I wanted. Which is very exciting. And that'll probably be what the next episode's about. That'll be setting up a bathroom, I think. Although I guess that does depend on whether or not... Yeah, I have got everything I need for that. Right, so then I guess food is pretty important. So let's set up this basic farming. Don't know why this is this is creating such a mess. Max, wake up! My goodness. Maybe that's why, actually. Yeah, they are getting quite dirty over here. So I do need to sort that out. This is not actually my favoured design for an airlock. Which is why I'm a bit confused about why it's not working, because it's not how I'd normally build them. But that is... Yeah, it's weird that the water keeps going in and then draining away. I guess it's just what happens once the water fills up, and then it settles down into here. And fluid and water do behave in quite unusual ways in this game. Which does feel like you're exploiting it a little bit, but it is the best way to create an airlock, unfortunately. Right. So, meal preparation. And I want a farm tile as well, so we'll get started on this, I think. Oh. It's a bit tidier. I guess. I wonder where compost. Ah, I know. It's not under food, it's under refinement. There it is. And while I'm at it, I might as well get rid of my polluted water down here for now. Looks like that's done. I won't deconstruct, but I will disable. So, I now have a means of getting rid of filth, which is quite nice. Someone's earned a skill point, which is even better. I'm going to give him digging. Quite often I'll have a separate digger and construction person. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to give him... No, I'm going to give him digging. And there we are. Cycle 15. I'm going to leave you there. It's been a little bit of a weird episode because I haven't really achieved as much as I'd hoped. I really hoped I'd be sorting out bathroom by now, a proper one, a shower and everything. But I think that's what happens when you follow somebody else's bliss instead of your own. I was paying too much attention to the rock, paper, shotgun article and the Ollie Toms method, and not enough to my own. So that's a lesson learned there. I think I'll trust in my own instincts next time. You should really trust in your own instincts, viewer. It's very important. That's my message as an old man who's never really achieved very much. To you, a young sort who's full of piss and vinegar. Presumably still. Anyway, that's that. If you've enjoyed this, or you've hate watched it, or whatever, thank you. Please do comment, or like it, or subscribe, or whatever. You should be able to find the links to that in the description or on the YouTube page. Thank you very much, and bye bye. stop.